Hello everyone, I am Elisa with EECC Travels and we are talking about cruise tips today. If you're interested in our 101 cruise tips, there is a link down in the description so you can download those and have them with you for all of your cruises. Today we are going to be talking about ports and excursions. Okay, so this is part of the reason we cruise is to go see new places. And there's two different ways you can do this. You can go into a port and walk off the ship and just explore on your own. We do this a lot, and sometimes our best days are just walking around the corner and finding something that we didn't know about, trying new foods, finding a little beach. Great to do. Or you can book an excursion. So there's two different ways you can do this. You can book through the cruise line or you can book through a third party. If you book through the cruise line, my suggestion is to do your research. Go on their website, look at all the excursions that are available for the ports that you're going to, and book in advance, because some of these will sell out. And I would hate for you to say, oh, I really want to do, this beach in Cozumel, and I'm so excited about this, and you wait to get on board and it's sold out. So if there's something you really, really want, definitely book it in advance. Tip number 2. Consider booking through a third party. A lot of times you can find things that are outside the cruise line that the cruise line doesn't offer because the vendors may want to only work themselves and they've decided that they just prefer their business to be third party and they're not partnering with the cruise line. So for instance, in Cozumel, if you want to go to Mr. Sancho's or Paradise Beach or Nachi Cacom, some of the beach clubs, you cannot book those through the cruise line. You have to book them through these third party vendors. So you're going to find this in every port you go to. You're going to find options that are different than the cruise lines, or you might find the same exact excursion that the cruise line is offering, but at a lower price. So be diligent about looking for that and deciding if it's better for you to book through the cruise line versus booking through a third party. Now, which should you do? This is really up to you. Here's my advice. If you have to go a long way, for instance, in Belize, we did an excursion where we went cave tubing and ziplining, one of the best excursions we've ever done. It's an hour and a half bus ride to get to the jungle to do these things. You can book that through a third party, but me personally, if I'm gonna go that far away from port, I'm doing it with the cruise line, because if that bus breaks down, if something happens, if it blows a tire and it can't get back to port on time, if you were booked through the cruise line, the ship will wait for you. If you book through that third party, the ship's not gonna wait for you and they will leave you in a foreign country. And you better hope you know how to get home. But if you're going somewhere close, like Cozumel, for instance, everything in Cozumel is on this island. You can get anywhere on the island in 15 to 30 minutes. That is okay to book through a third party. We typically never book excursions through the cruise line in Cozumel because there's so much to do there and we love those beach clubs. So take that into account as well. If you do book through an outside party, make sure they are reputable. Check and make sure they have a legitimate website. If they have Yelp or any type of reviews, read their reviews, make sure they're a good company, make sure you can find out something about them before you book with them, because for the most part, all of these vendors are good, but you're gonna every now and then find one that's not so good, and you don't wanna be the person that booked with them. If you're new to cruising and you did not pre-book anything, on the first sea day, there's always an excursion talk. These are really great. So we did this on our first cruise ever. We didn't know what to do. We didn't know what to expect. We didn't pre-book anything. So we went to the excursion talk and we're like, oh wow, you can do all these things? I had no idea. So it was perfect for us as new cruisers. We picked out, an excursion and booked it right there. Also, at these talks, they usually give away a couple of excursions. So that can save you some money too. But they're fun, they're energetic, and it's gonna give you some information about these ports that you've never been to. When you leave the ship, take some items with you. We have a backpack, and in that backpack, we carry some items that we know we're gonna need. We always bring a first aid kit. Always, always, always bring a first aid kit. Always bring sunscreen. I mean, you're in the Caribbean for the most part. We're talking, you know, you can be in Alaska, but Caribbean, you need some sunscreen. Make sure you have sunglasses, things that you know you're gonna need on your excursion. Make sure you bring them. When you go into a port, if you look at the daily schedule, there's gonna be a contact phone number. So if you have an emergency in port, you need that number. So either if you're still getting a printed daily schedule, throw it in your backpack and bring it with you, or take a picture of that number. Hopefully you'll never need it, but God forbid you are doing a third-party excursion and it's running late and you need to contact the ship, that's the number you need to contact it, so make sure you have it. Also, you're gonna need a regular watch. Do not depend on your cell phone, because your cell phone could be bouncing off different towers, and your ship could be on Central Time, but the island is on Eastern Time, and you could miss your ship if you do that. So make sure you've got some way to tell time that matches the ship time, because don't depend on your phone. That happened to us long time ago. The phones are getting better at this, but it still can happen, especially if you're on airplane mode. You can't control what your phone's doing, where it's bouncing off of. So make sure you have a way to tell the time. This is a fun one. If you're going snorkeling, go to the buffet and get a little box of Cheerios, or whatever type of little small pebble cereal that they have. The fish love this. Just when you're snorkeling, sprinkle a little bit of it in the water in front of you, and the fish will come for the food, and then you've got, wow, all these fish right in front of you. Get really good views, take really good pictures and video, and you're feeding the fish and something that's not gonna hurt them. Okay, last tip of the day. If you're going on a beach excursion, bring water shoes. Not all beaches are soft sand. We have some really good water shoes. The brand is A-Liter. They're in our Amazon store. I'll link that down below. We really like these because they feel like a tennis shoe, but they work like a water shoe. So you've got that support. They're not like the flimsy water shoes that you buy for, you know, $6, $7 at Walmart that don't give you any support and your feet hurt afterwards. These are good water shoes, or really any type of water shoe that you buy. Just make sure that it's got the good soles, it's got the holes in them to drain out, and gives you a little bit of support. And some excursions that are not beach excursions, if you're going zip lining or cave tubing or things like that, you have to have closed-toed shoes. So you cannot wear flip-flops on these. You have to have either a tennis shoe or a water shoe that's enclosed. So always a good idea if you're going on a cruise to go get you a pair of those before you get on the cruise ship. You can sometimes find them in the shops on the ship, but that's hit and miss if you're gonna find your size or anything like that, and they're very expensive on board. So I hope these tips have helped you. If you can think of anything that I did not mention about going into port on a cruise, please leave that down below. Again, if you want those cruise tips, the link is in the description. And until next time, happy cruising.